Your headphones are not dying randomly. They are dying on schedule. Not because they are used, because they are built that way. Around 18 to 24 months. Every time. Across almost every major brand. The battery starts holding less charge. The playtime gets shorter. You charge more often. And then one day, it just does not last the commute anymore, and you start thinking about buying new ones. That is not wear and tear. That is a scheduled failure. And the moment you understand how it works, how a $1.50 component inside a $400 product was engineered specifically to fail at that window, you will never buy headphones the same way again. But the battery dying is not even the worst part. The worst part is what happens when you try to fix it. Today I'm going to show you 3 things. First, how manufacturers engineered a $1.50 component to make a $400 product disposable, and why the audio industry's biggest names are doing it deliberately. Second, what happens when you try to fix it, and why the repair path for most wireless headphones ends in a quote that makes replacement look cheap. Third, the specific models that are exempt from this. Headphones built by people who apparently decided audio quality should outlast a gym membership. Think about the last time you replaced your headphones. Odds are you did not drop them, you did not break them. You did not run them over or leave them in the rain. They just stopped lasting. The battery that used to get you through a full day started dying at noon, and then at 10 a.m. And at some point the calculation shifted. Is it worth fixing, or do I just get new ones? That shift is not accidental, it is the intended outcome. Here is what is actually inside a premium pair of wireless headphones. The parts that make the sound? A few dollars. The part that kills the product? $1.50. That battery is glued directly into the ear cup, not clipped, not slotted. Not held in place by a bracket you can remove with a standard screwdriver, glued. With an adhesive that requires either a heat gun or a spudger and a willingness to destroy the housing to access it. Think about it. You are charging more often, you notice it dying faster, and then one day, you leave the house and it does not make it through the day. iFixit, the most trusted hardware teardown organization in the world, scored the Sony WH-1000XM5 a 2 out of 10 for repairability. The battery sits adjacent to the driver with no physical separation. A slip of the pry tool during disassembly damages the speaker. A driver that costs Sony $3 to make costs you $80 to replace through a service center, if they will do it at all. Bose is worse. The Quiet Comfort 45 has ribbon cables routed directly over the battery. That tear during disassembly at a rate independent repair technicians describe as routine. Not occasional, routine. This is not an engineering limitation. Modular battery designs exist. They have existed for decades. The technology to make a wireless headphone with a user-replaceable battery is not new, not expensive, and not complicated. Manufacturers choose not to use it. The battery degrades. You cannot replace it. The headphone becomes a paperweight. You buy another one. That is the design. That is the revenue model. The audio quality you paid for is real. The lifespan was engineered out before it shipped. When your headphone battery degrades past the point of usefulness, you have 3 options. You can send it to the manufacturer, you can send it to an independent repair shop, or you can throw it away. Let us go through all 3. The manufacturer, Sony, Bose, Apple, Jabra, will offer you a battery replacement service. This service, where it exists, costs between $80 and $150 on headphones that retail for $200 to $400. The repair cost is between 40% and 75% of the purchase price. There is a reason consumer protection advocates call this the replacement threshold. Once a repair exceeds 40% of replacement cost, most people replace. The manufacturers know this. They set the service price accordingly. Apple charges $85 to replace the battery in AirPods Pro, each earbud. The left one and the right one are billed separately. If both batteries degrade, and they will simultaneously because they were manufactured in the same batch and charged the same number of times, you are paying $170 to restore a device that may retail for $249 for a battery that costs Apple less than $2 in total. But here is what makes this worse. The standard warranty on every major wireless headphone brand, Sony, Bose, Apple, Sennheiser, Jabra, explicitly excludes battery degradation caused by normal use. The exact language varies. The effect is identical. The one component that is guaranteed to fail within the warranty window is the one component the warranty does not cover. They call it consumable wear. The battery is classified the same way as the ear cushions, expected to degrade, expected to be replaced, expected to cost you money on a schedule they designed and you never agreed to. Now the independent repair shop. If you can find one willing to attempt a battery replacement on sealed headphones, and that pool is shrinking, because the liability of damaging a $400 device during a $30 repair is not worth it to most technicians. You are looking at $40 to $60 in labor on top of the cost of the battery. A third-party battery for most premium headphones costs $8 to $15. Total repair, $50 to $75, still half the replacement cost. Still a gamble that the disassembly does not destroy the housing, the ribbon cable, or the driver. And then the third option, which is what most people choose, not because they want to, but because the other two options made it the rational decision. You throw a $400 device in a drawer, and you buy another one. 50 million pairs of headphones are discarded globally every year. This is not a coincidence. This is a system. You did not drop them. You did not break them. You did not misuse them. They just stopped lasting. And in some cases, the headphones already know the battery is degrading before you do. The companion app tracks usage, charge cycles, and battery health in the background. They can see the failure coming, long before you feel it. Here's what the battery dying actually means for the physical object in your hands. When the battery in your phone dies, you have options. When the battery in your laptop degrades, there is usually a path, a service center, a third-party technician, a replacement part. The battery is one component inside a larger machine, and the machine still has value. With wireless headphones, the battery is not one component inside a larger machine. The battery is the machine. Without it, there is no product. And because manufacturers glued it in, sealed the housing, and made the disassembly process actively destructive, the moment the battery fails, the entire product fails. There are no service manuals for the Sony WH-1000XM5. Sony does not publish one. iFixit does not have an official parts agreement with Sony. If you want a replacement battery, you are sourcing a third-party cell from a supplier with no quality control guarantee and attempting a disassembly that iFixit rates a 2 out of 10. Bose discontinued repair support for the Quiet Comfort 35, a product that retailed for $350, less than 5 years after launch, not because the headphones stopped working, because Bose decided the support window was closed. If your QC35 battery swells today, Bose will not fix it. The authorized repair network will not fix it. The product is, by corporate decision, unrepairable. This is the sealed product trap in its final form. It is not just that the battery degrades, it is that the entire value of the object, the drivers, the headband, the noise cancellation hardware, the thing you actually paid for, becomes worthless the moment a 150 battery reaches the end of its cycle count. It is not worth fixing, not because fixing is impossible, but because they made sure it would not be worth it. That is not a side effect of the design, that is the point of it. They did not just make it hard to fix, they made it irrational to fix. So here is what separates the headphones on the blacklist from the ones that are not on it, and what to actually buy. There are only two types of headphones that survive this system. Everything else is disposable. The first is headphones with no battery at all. The second is headphones where the battery was engineered with enough capacity and enough repairability that the trap does not close on the same timeline. Both categories are smaller than they should be. Both are findable. Sennheiser HD560S, HD600 series, wired. Before anything else, the single most effective solution to the battery trap is the removal of the battery entirely. The Sennheiser HD600 has been in continuous production since 1997. It sounds better than any wireless headphone in its price range. Every component is replaceable. The cable, the ear cushions, the headband padding, the driver housing. Sennheiser sells spare parts directly from their website. There are HD600s bought in 1999 still running in professional studios today. The absence of Bluetooth is not a limitation. It is the engineering choice that makes it a 25-year product instead of a 2-year one. Jabra Evolve 285. Business line, not consumer line. This is the same company I just told you is tracking your battery data. The business line is a different machine built to a different standard. The Evolve 285 has an 840 mAh battery, nearly double the capacity of most consumer wireless headphones. It is rated for 40 hours of continuous use. At one charge per day, you do not hit 500 cycles for nearly 3 years, not 18 months. The battery is more accessible than the consumer line, not user replaceable without tools, but serviceable by technicians at a flat rate that Jabra publishes. For people who need wireless, the longevity math is materially better. Beyerdynamic DT700 Pro X. Wired, replaceable everything. Beyerdynamic is a German company that has been manufacturing headphones since 1924. The DT700 Pro X has a detachable cable terminated with a standard mini XLR connector. The ear cushions Velcro off and retail for $25. The headband pad clips off. The drivers are serviceable. The build is predominantly metal and high-grade plastic rated for professional studio use, which means tested for daily use by people who cannot have their equipment fail. There is no battery, there is no firmware, there is no app. There is no server receiving your audio data. It is a transducer connected to a cable. It will outlast the company that made your wireless headphones. Nothing ear, open. CMF Buds Pro 2, budget tier with replaceable ear tips and documented battery specs. For people committed to truly wireless earbuds, nothing is the one brand in the budget to mid space that publishes battery cycle data, provides a documented repair pathway in partnership with iFixit, and has committed in writing to providing spare parts for 5 years after a product is discontinued. The battery is still not user replaceable, but the 5-year spare parts commitment and the iFixit partnership make it a meaningfully better proposition than Sony or Apple, where the parts pipeline closes 18 months after launch. The buying rule, compressed to one sentence: if you cannot find a published battery replacement cost before you purchase, the manufacturer is betting you will not ask until it is too late. Check the iFixit score before you buy. If there is no iFixit teardown, that is also an answer. Companies that do not want their products torn down have a reason for it. The audio inside a $400 pair of headphones is genuinely remarkable. The engineering that goes into a 30mm dynamic driver, the DSP processing, the noise cancellation algorithm, that is real work by real engineers who care about sound. But somewhere between the audio engineering and the product design, a different set of engineers made a different set of decisions. They chose glue over brackets. They chose sealed housings over accessible ones. They chose a $1.50 battery you cannot reach over a $3 battery you could replace in 5 minutes. They made those choices because a product that lasts 10 years sells once. A product that dies in 2 sells 5 times. Stop buying the noise cancellation score. Stop buying the influencer review recorded on a press unit that will be retired before the battery degrades. Buy the service manual. Buy the teardown score. Buy the headphone where someone made the opposite decision, the one where they chose to make the thing last, because they believed the thing was worth lasting. That headphone exists. The list is shorter than it should be, but it is not empty. If you own wireless headphones right now, open the manufacturer's app, if there is one, and look for a battery health setting. If you see a percentage under 85%, the degradation has already started. Drop your brand and your percentage in the comments. I want to know how long you have had them. If this is the first time you are realizing your devices are designed to fail, subscribe. Because this is not just headphones, it is phones, laptops, appliances, everything. And once you see it, you do not unsee it.